September, yeah.
And you go with the...
Okay, we ready to go, you guys?
In some cases, yeah.
Gentlemen, we're gonna get going here.
Okay, I'll shut up.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
Not what you think.
Okay, well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the August 12th meeting of the Hyde Park Town Board. Please join me while we pledge allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so we have just a couple of housekeeping items before we invite the Commissioner of Veteran Services. Is that the appropriate title?
Director.
Director, okay, well, working your way towards Commissioner, I'm sure. Up to the table to let us know what's going on with Dutchess County's Veteran Service Department. But so may I have a motion to accept the minutes of July 15th and 23rd?
I'll make a motion.
And a second?
Second?
And all in favor?
Aye.
So yeah, come on up, Mark, and join us here and tell us a little bit about the things you're, yeah, right here with, oh, yeah.
Because I'd like to talk to the audience.
Of course, that is absolutely fine.
Thank you,
So-
Madam Supervisor. I appreciate it. Thank you to the town board for having me tonight.
Thank you.
My name is Mark Coviello. As the supervisor said, I'm the director of Dutchess County's Division of Veteran Services. What I've been doing is going to every town in Dutchess County, about halfway done now, to introduce myself to the town boards and those attending the meetings. As I go out to our veterans events, and I go to the VFWs and the Legions, I see generally a lot of the same couple hundred veterans. As much as I love those guys and women, there's veterans that are out in the communities that are not so much involved in those veterans activities. They don't come out to our barbecues, so I wanted to do some more outreach in areas that I generally wouldn't be able to go to. And with that said, what I had done was create a town board veterans liaison. Or you guys were actually the only town that already had one. Who is the veteran? You are, sir?
David Ray,
Thank you,
yeah,
sir.
yeah.
I asked every town to create a veterans liaison board because, as you know, Councilman, you know the many people in your town. You know who the veterans are, and a lot of time veterans will get out of the service. A lot of times Vietnam veterans that wanted nothing to do, because of the way they were treated, they wanted nothing to do with their veteran identity, unfortunately. So they just kind of moved on with their lives, and they don't really participate. But so again, I don't have access to those people, whereas you do. You know your constituents very well, and they might be able to communicate with you, and you could relay those things to me. It's actually the veterans liaison position has worked out quite well as people go door to door, and I've been getting a lot of messages from our town liaisons about veterans that need some help. So please, sir, anytime, always contact me.
I certainly will.
Thank you. So I wanted to just clarify. It's going to only take 5 minutes, really. Just wanted to clarify to the people and the town boards what it is that we actually do. We're the Division of Veteran Services for the county. That's not the same thing as the VA. So the Division of Veteran Services is myself as director, and I have 4 employee staff members in the office. So it's a small office. It's way less intimidating to come into my office for a veteran that really doesn't know much about veteran services, rather than walking into Castle Point where there's 1,000 people and it's a hospital and they don't really know where to go. So it could be intimidating, and people feel like they get lost in the system. So that's the first thing. I want to clarify the difference between us and the VA. They're a federal entity, we're a county entity. What we do is we have veterans that come into our office, and we help them obtain the benefits that they're entitled to from their service. So educational benefits, disability compensation. For your senior citizen veterans, sometimes we have in-home health aides that we can get them. There's a whole array of things that we do for the veterans, but essentially the message I wanted to get across to you guys was we're way more accessible. If you have a veteran in your community that needs absolutely anything, please send them to our office, bring them to our office. If you have homeless veterans in your community, I guarantee you, if you bring a homeless veteran to my office and they want to be self-sustainable back into a house, I will get them there. I promise you that. We have plenty of programs, so there should be no homeless veterans in Dutchess County at all. So that's my promise to you guys. Before I go, again, I just tell you guys a little bit about myself so you feel comfortable, you know who I am, you can call me anytime. Again, just so you guys know who I am, you feel comfortable, you can call me anytime, veteran or not, if you have a family member that's a veteran. One thing I just like to tell people about myself is that I'm a combat veteran. I served in Iraq and Afghanistan. And the reason I clarify that is because a lot of times these younger returning veterans that are coming back now, you see a lot of them feel quite isolated. They isolate themselves as part of some post-traumatic stress they may or may not have went through, or just the reintegration back into civilian life is difficult for them. So I just want you guys to know, if you have combat veterans, they generally like to just talk to other combat veterans. So if you find somebody who fits that picture and maybe feels comfortable and wants to talk to somebody, or wants to come in and ask for help but doesn't really know where to go, just note that to them. It's, I don't know, they feel more comfortable. You have any questions for me? I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we do for veterans. I could sit here and talk for an hour about the benefits, but really the point of it was just to clarify the difference between us and the VA, what we are and what we do, if you have any specific questions about that.
Do we have Mark's contact information?
Yeah, that's.
I'm gonna give that to you right before
Okay.
I go. I'll tell everybody.
Yeah, we want, so are you in the county office building?
We are in the
Is that-
Poughkeepsie Journal building.
Oh, in the Poughkeepsie Journal.
Yep, that's
Okay.
85 Civic Center Plaza,
Okay.
Poughkeepsie. The office number there is 845-486-2060. I'm also actually going to give you my cell phone number because I'd like to be accessible to you guys. If you have a veteran, 7 o'clock at night, he's a homeless veteran, needs help, I want you to call me. I want you to call me if it's midnight. I don't care. The cell phone number is 845-240-4381. Again, the accessibility to the office and to myself is just far greater than if you were trying to just bring them to the VA, and they will get taken care of. All right? Thank you, guys. I appreciate the time to do this. Thank you.
Sounds like sounds like great work that you're doing, Mark, so thank you. Thanks for coming to Hyde Park. Appreciate that. Great. Okay, so the next item on our agenda is the continuation of the public hearing for local law C. We don't actually have any updates on that law. We are still working to refine it a little bit behind the scenes. So we've reached out to our planner who's working with us on the law, and we should, at the next meeting, I hope, have an update as to where we are. We're just tweaking it to some extent. So if anyone would like to comment on that local law, please join us at the podium. Okay, so we should continue the public hearing. Should we continue it to the, let's say the 23rd? Yes, right, let's continue it to September 23rd, okay? Okay. Oh, sure, yes. May I have a second to continue the public hearing to September 23rd?
Second that?
And all in favor?
Aye.
Great. Okay, so we have a number of resolutions on the agenda, but the first, and actually a lot of them are personnel, but it's, the first is appointing another Hyde Park police officer, so Neil?
My honor to read this.
Okay.
Resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to appoint Bryan Sweeney as a full-time police officer for the Town of Hyde Park Police Department.
Second?
Okay. And so Donna likes to print a formal resolution, so I'll do a roll call.
Okay, Councilman Krupnik,
Aye?
Councilman Ray.
Aye.
Councilman Marine,
Aye.
and Supervisor Rohr.
Aye. So great. So welcome aboard, Bryan. We're very pleased to have you joining our wonderful Hyde Park Police Department, and we'd like to go ahead and swear you in. Sure. Donna's very good at this. Seems like every meeting we're doing another. You did? Yeah, it seems like that's pretty common, right? Yeah. All right, so, we're gonna swear you right in.
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and faithfully discharge the duties
and faithfully discharge the duties
of full-time police
of
officer
full-time police officer
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my
You
ability.
are so sworn.
All right.
Thank you so much.
This is a little off the edge one day.
Okay. Okay, Dave, I think you're up.
Oh. let me
Number
get my
2.
glasses. I do need my glasses.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Number 2, right?
Yep.
Looks like you lost your bat. It goes off during the night if you leave the bat on.
Okay.
Okay.
Resolution 812-2 of 2019. Resolution acknowledging the resignation of Town of Hyde Park Police Officer Daniel Montalto.
Second?
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And, Joe? Sorry.
Resolution 812-3 of 2019, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to appoint Robert G. Pollard Jr. as the Town of Hyde Park Recreation Director.
And may I have a second?
Second?
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay?
Okay. So we're happy to be welcoming Mr. Pollard aboard. We have a couple of other appointments and then a couple of very important appointments. So I did prepare a little statement here. So the rec leader, Mr. Pollard is coming to us from Albany. He's actually working in the tech industry right now, but he has his degree in recreation management, and so we're really, really looking forward to him joining us. It's been a bit of a rough summer without a rec director. We've had a number of issues at our pool that made life hard, and so I think it's a good example of the necessity for grooming replacements prior to the departure of the director. I mean, it's wonderful with Howie in particular. He worked for the highway department for many years, so when he took over, he was, hit the ground running and ready to go, had a great understanding of the department. So I think it's great that we have a new rec leader with new energy. We're very much looking forward to working with the public. There's been a little bit of an absence of that, I would say, in the last few years. So I've already started doing some outreach to different people who have inquired about what's going on with our parks. So I really look forward to working with Robert as well as the Rec Commission on assessing the needs of the public, because really that's what we should be doing to drive the decisions that we're making. So that's Robert should start, I believe he's starting on August 19th. And Joe's going to be showing him around to all the parks. We're going to be introducing him to the Rec Commission. And, many in the people in the town, actually it's really hard for me to talk. I think I'm just going to
Okay.
go close that. Thanks, Tad. Many people in the town don't really understand that the town has a rec commission that advises the town board on various decisions on where to invest in the parks. Actually, they had input in the decision on the choice of the rec leader. And so it does add a dimension of complication in the administration of some of our decisions, because typically they're decisions, especially involving money, should be made by the, in my opinion, the electeds, the town board, because we're the people that are accountable and to the public. And so when there's a commission, it does just add another layer of decision making. So, you know, we're looking forward to having a great relationship with Robert and making some progress in the improvements in our parks. So he's going to join us. I'm going to send out a press release, and I hope everybody will be stopping by to say hi to him.
Yeah.
So that kind of brings me on to our next appointment. It's the resolution number 4, and I am really, really pleased to make this appointment, and that is appointing Joanne Lown to the position of Deputy Comptroller. So most of you know Joanne, if you've ever been in Town Hall, as she's like the library, you know. She's the historical knowledge of the town. She's worked for Hyde Park for 33 years, which is kind of amazing because, you know, we're about the same age, so I don't know how you did that. But, you know, Joanne is just an incredible employee, so dedicated to the town and to the taxpayers. And it's often not an easy position to be in. You know, there's always needs that the department has and ideas, and Joanne's always the person who has to introduce reality. And, you know, she's had this great mentoring with Tom Carey, the comptroller, and I know that she's learned a tremendous amount from Tom. And, you know, what the town is doing is we're really developing a succession plan, because, again, you know, I think what happened over the summer when our rec director resigned, you could see that there was a missing leadership. So our plan really is to put people in place that we can educate and that they can learn the ropes prior to the departure of their boss or the person who is holding that position right now. So, you know, just a little bit of a history. Some of it is kind of sad and painful, but the best thing is we came out on top. But, you know, Joanne did have a brief hiatus from her position during the years of 2011 and 2010 and 2011. And, you know, just as an example of what can happen when you don't have the guidance of a competent and informed person, you know, during that 2 years when Joanne's position was eliminated, the town basically failed to perform our fiduciary duties. You know, we didn't file our AUD, bank statements were not reconciled, we didn't follow procurement policies and New York State rules, and most importantly, what happened during that time period is our savings account, the taxpayer's savings account, was essentially depleted. Basically, for our entire town, we had about $500,000 in our fund balance, and the highway fund balance was in the red. So, you know, when I took office, it was a very, very difficult time, and fortunately, we were able to recruit Tom Carey with all his experience and bring Joanne back into the town. And I would say it was about a 6 to 8 month period of reconstructing our finances. So, you know, I'm sure during that time there was no malintent, but this is the taxpayers' money, and we have to have competent staff always that's watching it. So, you know, back to our fund balance, which I like to say, you know, the fund balance is in many ways the proof of the pudding, because it shows that the management of the town has been effective. And so, again, we were about $500,000 when we took office, and over the last 8 years, you know, because of TC and Joanne and the town board all pulling in the same direction, as well as our staff, the wonderful staff that we have here, that we've been able to bring our fund balance up to 2.47 million and 800,000 in our highway fund. And, you know, a lot of those monies are segregated, which is something that the town didn't do in the past. They're assigned, as a number of municipalities have been called out for their failure to create those assignments within their fund balance. So, you know, there's a lot to be proud of there. And I'm just very thankful and grateful to both Tom Carey and to Joanne for providing this wonderful fiscal management. And together we've done this. And as far as the succession plan goes, is that TC plans to retire in January of this year, of 2020, and he will come on as just a consultant to work with us during the audit process, during the budget process, and the closing of the books. So it's nice that we'll still have his expertise and knowledge to rely on. But in the meantime, we have our deputy comptroller, who has really been doing a lot of these duties anyway. And so, but she will be under his tutelage and learning some additional, more sophisticated scheduling and different, more sophisticated financial tools to make sure that we are always kept abreast of how the town is doing and how we're spending our money. So that is our plan for the comptroller position. And again, TC will be leaving. Joanne will be moving into that comptroller position when he does leave. We are appointing someone to take over Joanne's duties. Actually, I think we already did appoint her, but she hasn't started yet. And so it's really this moving the town down this path. But beyond Joanne and TC and appointing our new rec leader, we're also later this month going to be appointing a deputy building inspector to focus on enforcement. That will free up Tad and Don to do some of the work that they've had to put aside or becomes very difficult to do in a timely manner. So we're excited about that too, because again, it's just this idea of grooming people and putting them in the pipeline for the future. And our human resource officer, Sandy Bruno, who she's the other half of the brain here. You know, and she's a wonderful person who makes sure everybody gets paid. You know, like that's a big thing. So we also are bringing someone aboard to learn her job prior to her departure, which, you know, is looking like it will be January in 2020. So that's a lot of, there's a lot of changes, and you know, all of us are aging out, I suppose, but you know, it's
Some
good
more than others.
to know that the town, you know, the town continues. So that's the overall plan. So TC had provided me with something that he wanted me to read, and I'm not sure that I can find it, but I guess I can just really articulate it, and that is that, you know, he, with his 40 years of experience, has found no one more qualified or better suited to be deputy comptroller for Hyde Park, and has enjoyed every aspect of working here and working with Joanne. So, but we're not letting him go quite yet, but we just wanted to add those words. Okay?
Yep.
All right, so Neil, I think
Yep.
it's you.
Resolution 812-4 of 2019. Resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to appoint Joanne Lown, Senior Account Clerk, as Provisional Deputy Comptroller for the Town of Hyde Park.
A second?
So, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and Joanne, you're here, and
Hey.
yay! Maybe you'd like to say a few words?
And I just want to thank TC because of his trust and his guidance and the recommendation to the position. I just really feel honored. And of course, the town board's support. I appreciate it.
No, thanks.
Thanks, Joanne.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Joanne.
Congratulations.
I give you a hug, but I can't go quite that far.
Okay, so moving on.
Number 5?
Yep.
Sorry.
Which one is, what number is this one?
No, I got it. Resolution 812-5 of 2019, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to extend the increase of hours for part-time account clerk Heidi Peters for the Town of Hyde Park Administrative Office.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 812-6 of 2019, resolution authorizing Town of Hyde Park Highway Superintendent to auction surplus highway equipment.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 812-7 of 2019, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to approve the request from the Culinary Institute of America to conduct a fireworks display on September 9th, 2019, in the Town of Hyde Park.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye. Resolution 812-8 of 2019, resolution commencing the local law adoption process for local law G of the year 2019 to amend Article 2, Section 108-2-2 of the zoning code and to add a new definition of the term family.
Yeah, that, wait, that should have been pulled.
It was?
Okay, so.
Disregard that.
Yeah, so may I have a motion to remove number 8 from the agenda?
Motion?
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
This is going to require further discussion with the zoning.
Yes, yeah, we had some input
Oh, okay.
from Herb Sweet, the Chair of the Zoning Board of Appeals, so we decided to just pull this and have those discussions. But as long as we've discussed, should I discuss it a little bit or just wait? Just wait, okay. So did we vote on that? We did, right,
There's
okay.
9 on the agenda.
No,
local
yes,
law.
that's on.
Yes, 9 is
Okay.
good.
So, Resolution 812-9 of 2019, resolution commencing the local law adoption process for local law H of the year 2019 entitled, "A Local Law Amending Chapters 40 and 108 of the Town of Hyde Park Town Code to provide for the office of Deputy Building Inspector and set forth the powers and duties of said officer."
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
So,
Resolution.
I'm just sorry, we need to
Set a date for the.
set a date for the public hearing on that, so let's set the, do we have time to set it for September 9th?
Why don't we do the,
Yes.
you want to do it September 9th?
Well,
Should
because,
be time enough.
because we would like
I guess
him
he is
to
11.
begin
Start.
work October 1st,
Okay,
so
let's- September.
September 9th,
There's 11, okay.
Okay.
okay?
At
Re-
7:05?
At 7:05, yeah.
I'm open.
What was that? Oh,
Okay. Resolution 812-10 of 2019, resolution approving budget revisions to the Town of Hyde Park for the period of July 2019 budget revisions number 2019-07.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution 812-11 of 2019, resolution authorizing entrance onto the properties located at 4357 and 4359 Albany Post Road, Hyde Park, 6 Curry Lane, Hyde Park, 70 Roosevelt Road, Hyde Park, 7 South Cross Road, Statsburg, and 25 Berkshire Avenue, Poughkeepsie.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye. Resolution 812-12 of 2019, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Supervisor to execute a DOT Office of Right-of-Way Assignment, Claim and Release, Nook Pro Tunc, for the T-Rex Hyde Park Owner LLC project.
Second.
And that's, okay, and all in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 812-13 of 2019, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Supervisor to execute a performance bond for the West Dorsey construction access portion of the Inn at Bellafield project.
Second.
Actually, Warren, we have to amend
The one that I
this.
gave you?
Yeah, I don't know where it went. For some reason, I'm discombobbled, even because,
Oh.
even with you guys not having it paper, somehow.
Okay. I've amended the language for that. If you give me the clean one, I can, I gave you my copy. The problem is that we have negotiated the security agreement with the developer, and that's been approved, the language of that has been approved, but we were supposed to get a performance bond, which cross-references the security agreement from the developer's counsel, and they promised to get it to me today, but I didn't get it. So I've changed the language somewhat of the resolution to provide that it will be, the town supervisor is authorized to execute the security agreement in the same or the substantially similar form as provided to the town. There it is. That the town supervisor is hereby authorized to execute a security agreement secured by a performance bond acceptable to the attorney to the town to guarantee completion of the repairs to West Dorsey Lane in a form or substantially similar form as that provided to the town board, acceptable to the attorney for the town. It's repetitious, but that's fine. So, because I have to see that bond before we
Yeah,
approve it.
Definitely. Okay, so Donna, you have the amendment?
Yeah.
So may I have a motion to amend Resolution 812-13 to just add that language that Warren just articulated, secured by a performance bond acceptable to the attorney to the town.
I make a motion to that effect.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And it's amended.
And then may I have a motion to, for a second on the amended resolution?
Motion?
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
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 that's it.
that's it.
is that it?
That's it?
That's it.
Okay, but I neglected to include the public comment at the beginning of the meeting, so would anyone like to make a comment on any of the resolutions before us or any matter of town business? No? Okay, well, thanks everyone and enjoy the rest of the summer, which is obviously going way too fast.
Too
but,
fast.
Okay, good. All right, so then may I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
And-
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Adjourned. Wonderful. A lot of good stuff there.
Yes.